Hi, my name is Sam, my pronouns are they, them, and I am going to change my life in 6 months. Hold it, let's back it on up a little bit. If you don't know me, hi. I have been someone who is on and off booktube for what feels like 2 or 3 years now. The big thing that happened last year, and I have been inspired by Jenna, an amazing author and just all-around person on YouTube, to give this crazy, insane 185 challenge a try. So over the next 185 days, it's just about 6 months, I am going to be doing a whole bunch of things to change my life and to make it the kind of life that I want it to be. So a year ago, just about a year ago next month, I will have lost my soulmate. She was on the channel a lot. I did everything with her. I had gotten her for Christmas when I was 10 years old, and we had done everything together. We went to college together, we moved out, we moved from Connecticut to Maine together. She was my entire world, wrapped up into one little fluffy corgi body. And last year, just before she hit 15, she died on me. I hold a little bit of resentment towards her for that, but you know, things happen. But previous to that, I had really made it my life's focus to focus on her, giving her the best life she could have, making it so that my life could revolve around taking care of her. And I do not regret that in any way, shape, or form. We had such incredible years together, especially up in Maine. A big part of the reason why I love Maine as much as I do is because it gave her and I the life that we wanted. You know, it allowed us to really make a lot of shifts in our lives that really made it so we were able to focus on each other and living the best life. She had an absolutely fantastic last couple years of life up here in Maine, focused around the outdoors and pain management, and she had such an amazing vet team up here, and everything about Maine has done incredible things for our lives together. And now it's just my life. Now I have my rat. This is Bug. She is a 2-year-old Chihuahua, and she's my bestie. She's my bestie, but she is the world's easiest companion. I don't have to plan my life around her. She is just happy to go along for whatever ride I bring her on, and that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful, incredible thing, and I love her for it. She is such an amazing dog. She's such an amazing companion. But it means that I can shift my focus onto myself in a way that I have not really been prepared to do. Over the past year, there have been a lot of changes to my life. Some good, some not so good. And now I am ready to take life by the horns and just figure it out. So that is where I am at. That is what has led me to this point here with y'all. I am going to be participating in the 185 Insane Challenge, and it's going to be the author edition. So my grandfather is on the other side of the screen right now being like, I knew it. I knew it. And you know what? Hate to say it, he's always right. Where do we begin with this challenge? There are a set of rules that Jenna kind of came up with, and I've kind of altered them to fit my goals and my lifestyle, to the way that I need it. And it feels really weird to come on here and to talk about these things, but let's kind of work through the challenge rules that I have set for myself, and we will go from there, I guess. So some of these rules are from Jenna, some of them are not. If you want to go back and see her video and see what she's got going on, she's incredibly engaging in every capacity. So she'll probably end up making you want to do this too. So my first challenge rule is to write 1K more words per day than my usual goal, aside from planned days off. One of the big things about this challenge is accounting for mental health, disabilities, days off, things that just happen because they're part of life, which is one of the reasons that I feel like this might go better for me than 75 hard or even 75 soft ever have. I have an autoimmune disease, I have a bunch of problems, and they're all being managed by my medical providers. So they're all doing better than they normally are, but still. So for me, that really looks like 1,500 words a day. Do all of those words specifically need to be in like a specific draft? For me, no. For me, as long as there are that many words being written, I'm going to count it. So this could be writing exercises, this can be blog posts, this can be a lot of things outside of a draft if I need it to be. Because some days, I just can't be working in a draft. It's just, some days it's just not possible. So I'm able to skirt this one a little bit, which I'm sure is not in some other people's versions of this, but again, I'm trying to make this manageable for me. The next rule is that I want to journal/pull cards daily. So I have taken some things from The Artist Way. I don't like everything that's in The Artist Way, but I really do like the daily journaling aspect of it, and I ended up pairing it with pulling cards each day. So I have a really hard time kind of connecting with myself in the morning. So I choose to pull tarot cards for the day to kind of get ideas and understandings from my ancestors of just like things that I should think about for the day moving forward. Or sometimes even just to chit chat with them. You know, my spirituality practices really revolve around my ancestors, so it's nothing all that serious, but I like to pull a couple tarot cards for the day, and then I start writing those down, and normally that just ends up becoming like a word dump for me, of me just dumping the things that are in my brain onto the page. And that is something that works really, really well for me. So I have fallen out of practice with that, and I would like to get back into practice with that, because it just is something that is very centering for me and something very manageable for me. So the next one, my next goal, rule, whatever you want to call it, is I want to completely draft 2 separate books. So I have 2 kind of ideas going, some things that I've started with, some things that I'm going to pull from other projects. You know, I've got the vision in my head, and these are going to be 0 drafts for me. So they are just going to be me throwing words at the page and seeing what sticks. We're just going to be working through the stories. I'm a bit of an outliner, but I'm also not. So normally I'll be able to do like a general outline for the book, the draft that I'm working on, whatever you want to refer to it as. But I don't really often abide by it for all that long, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of am someone who just likes to let the story take me where it's going for my 0 draft. And from that 0 draft, I will usually re-outline from there. So when I'm going through and I'm rereading my 0 draft, I will re-outline everything, so I can kind of see the original outline of what I wanted, what I was expecting, versus what ended up on the page, and we can kind of adjust from there. I have kind of a weird editing process. If anyone wants to kind of hear about that, you can let me know, but my editing process, even especially as a professional editor, my editing process is a little bit kooky, and that's okay. I want to start editing one of my 2 drafts. So ultimately, I'm planning on spending like the first 2 to 3 months zero drafting one draft, and then spend the next 2 to 3 months zero drafting the second draft, and then I'll go back to the first draft, because I am someone who strongly believes in taking time off from a manuscript before going into your editing process. I think that you need to step away for like a month and then come back to it. I know that's not how that always works out, but it is my belief of that is your best case scenario when you're going into editing. So I want to post 3 pieces of content per day on any platform, with the stipulation of I'm only expecting this 5 days a week. I am not expecting myself to do this 7 days a week. I know that there are very easy ways to do it. I know that I can just like post stories on Instagram. I know that it doesn't have to be serious, and I'm not expecting everything to be like perfectly serious, planned out, got my shit together, but I am expecting to need days off, because there are days that I recently have not been going on social media at all, and I don't want to force myself to if I'm not feeling like I can even open the app one day, which is fine for me. You know, that's completely fine and manageable for me. So the social media platforms that I will be posting on will obviously be YouTube. YouTube is my favorite out of all of them. 100% my favorite. I have Instagram, I have TikTok, which I have not really been on either of those lately. Haven't really been enjoying them at all, but we'll see how I end up feeling about it. I technically have Blue Sky, but I really don't like Blue Sky, and I say that as someone who didn't like Twitter either. So Tumblr, I got Tumblr again, loving my Tumblr, loving it. And then I have my own blog. So all of those links will be in the description below if you want to follow me on there. I also have Twitch, which will be happening below. So if you need someone to co-work with, I try to host co-working streams at weird times of the day. Because all of the people that I love that do co-working streams happen smack dab in the middle of the day, and I work a 9 to 5. So I need weird time. So next, pick your off days, schedule healthy breaks, and honor them without guilt. This is something that's coming from Jenna, and I think that it's really important, especially with someone like me who has a lot of problems. I think that it just makes this whole process manageable in a way that a lot of other ones aren't. I have to remind myself that I am a person, and while I am changing my life, like, I do have to be kind and handle myself with kindness as we are going through this life-changing process. Because I am completely shifting my perspective on life. I'm shifting my perspective on how I view the world around me, honestly, because I'm going from a place of pessimism and like disappointment with the world around me, and I'm trying to turn myself into someone who sees like the good in things and can be optimistic about things. And I have never been an optimistic person, so I have to handle myself with kindness throughout this entire situation. So next, I want to make new author/book friends online and in person. Or in person, honestly. I want to make some friends that I share a little bit more in common with in terms of like genres and reading and writing and some things of like things that I could like practice my hobbies with friends about a little bit more. Although I definitely feel like I'm going to put this out here, and then Paige, my friend that I have the most in common with, she's gonna be like, bitch, me too, let's do it. And we'll probably end up partially doing this together. Hi, Paige. So next, I want to do 5,000 steps a day. So that is not unattainable for me. I do work an office job, a 9 to 5, but I do have good breaks. So ideally the plan is going for a walk in the morning before work with my dog, Bug. Going for a walk during my lunch break to stretch my legs because I sit a lot. So I can normally do like in a half an hour, like 2 miles, something like that normally. So I'll do that with Bug in the morning. I'll do that at lunch, and then doing another walk with Bug after work. That won't always be the case because if it's really hot, then I'm not leaving my house. But, you know, if that means that I'm like doing laps around my building at work, like inside in the air conditioning, I can do that. So 5,000 steps a day is manageable. And I know that people are going to be like, you should do more. Okay, well, I work 9 to 5. I work a desk job. I work an office job. Let's be realistic here. Okay? Doing my very best. So I want to do, it comes out to like 95 or something like that ounces of water a day. I really need to up my water intake because all I do is drink like coffee and tea and energy drinks, and that's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling at all. So want to be drinking a lot more water, especially as summer is coming and it's hot outside and I'm uncomfortable. I don't do well in the heat. So I want to stick to a healthy routine of exercise and diet for me, with cheats of course. So really what this comes down to for me is probably going to seem like the bare minimum for some people, but it's something that I struggle with like intensely. So I want to go on 2 walks a day at minimum, and I want to eat 3 meals a day. Okay? That's where we're at. There are days that I'm lucky if I get a meal in. And that meal is always breakfast. I don't ever skip breakfast, but lunch and dinner, variable. Might not happen just because my brain does not like them. My brain does not like lunch and dinner. It only likes breakfast. So I'm not talking about the foods that I'm eating. I'm not talking about like really sticking to a specific workout plan. We are going bare minimum, baseline. I want to get in the habit of always having 2 walks a day and always having 3 meals a day. And after these 6 months are done, if I can consistently manage that for 6 months, I get into the habit of it, I get into the groove of it, then we can start making adjustments from there. But to get to the really good healthy habits, I need to have the baseline down. So this is me trying to get my baseline down and get it like stuck in my head. Next, no social media before 9 a.m. or after 9 p.m. That works for me. That means no social media in the morning at all. Things that are not included in social media though are YouTube and Twitch. Those 2 not included in social media whatsoever. So I'm talking about Tumblr, TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, Pinterest. I will not be engaging with those before 9 a.m. or after 9 p.m. I think that is manageable. I think that will help with some of my existential dread surrounding the world around me. Because realistically, like, I have to check out a little bit if I want to be a functional member of my community. I cannot be as honed in as I have been since like November because it's just putting me in panic spirals and it's not helping anyone. Truly. Like, it's not helping me, it's not helping my community, it's not making me a better member of my community. It's just making me want to myself. So, we're stepping away. We're stepping away. We're done. I have to. I don't have another choice right now. Okay. Next. I want to complete 1 hour of reading today. It can be any genre as long as it's not my own book. So, with that, I know that Jenna only wanted to do half an hour a day, but half an hour is not enough for me. Now, when I say an hour a day, I am not including any time that I spend listening to audiobooks on my commute. That is what is going to make this hard, because I do listen to audiobooks on my commute to and from work. So that's already an hour a day of audiobook listening. And I also listen to audiobooks while I'm at work sometimes, depending on how busy it is. So that's not included either. That's not to say audiobooks are not included in this, but it's more of the focus and the intentionality of my reading times. So I want to do a half an hour in the morning. I want to do a half an hour before bed, at least. Those are manageable things for me to help clear my head in the morning, help clear my head at night, and consume less digital media. An hour a day outside of my commute feels manageable for me. Next, I want to stick to a sleeping schedule and a night routine that is best for me. So, what I mean by that is I function best when I go to bed at like 10 o'clock. That's a good time for me, but it's the things that happen before bed that are really, really crucial to my functionality as a human. If I have a bad night, like, the next day is completely thrown off. So I like to prep everything in advance the night before. I like to pick out my outfit. I like to pack my lunch for the next day. I like to make sure that the sink is empty of dishes. I like to complete everything at night for the next day, so I can go into the next day having low choices, because I get serious choice paralysis. So I have to set myself up to not have to make that many choices throughout the morning. I have to have like a nice, fresh, easy morning. And I do that by setting myself up at night. So yes, I want to go to bed at 10 o'clock, but more importantly, I want to set myself up for the next day every night. And that is a crucial part of my nightly routine. We have to have TV time every night, because she, down here, she likes to have her teeth brushed every night. It's a little routine. It's necessary. Okay, so next, I want to enjoy my hobbies and spend time doing them at least 5 days a week. This is manageable for me. And I know for Jenna, she said, like, find a hobby that you can enjoy without monetizing it. That's not a problem I have. I have so many hobbies. It is ridiculous. I like bookbinding. I like knitting. I like crocheting. I like spinning yarn. I like drawing. I like painting. I like woodworking. I like carpentry. I like reupholstering things. If my life, I like gardening. If my life was just hobbies, I would be the busiest person ever. I have no problem not monetizing my hobbies, because all I do is hobbies. So that's not really a problem that I have. My problem is really consistently engaging in my hobbies, because normally I want to set aside such a large chunk of time for my hobbies that I just never end up doing them. So I want to start learning how to take smaller chunks of hobbies and smaller time frames for hobbies to still be able to enjoy and engage in them. Because that's more of my problem, is finding smaller chunks of time and being willing to dedicate smaller chunks of time to hobbies instead of just drowning myself in media instead. Because normally I will just, if I have 30 minutes, okay, I'm just going to scroll on my phone. And I don't want to do that anymore. Okay, I have 30 minutes. Let's pick up a crochet hobby. It doesn't matter that it's only 30 minutes. It doesn't matter that a lot's not going to get done. It's still 30 minutes and I will still enjoy it. So that's where that. My final challenge, like goal, is it's going to seem like it's a little bit out of nowhere. And I know that. I know that. But I really want to start learning French. And I am not someone who learns languages easily. I took like 5 years of Spanish. Do I know Spanish? 5 years. 5 years. But I feel dedicated to the cause, you know? So something that Jenna brought up that I think is really important, and ultimately it's something that kind of changed my perspective on like everything when she said it, was just kind of like embracing delusion. And if you want to be an author, if you want to be a writer, if you want to be anything professionally, treat it like it's your full-time job. Doesn't matter if you have a day job. Treat it like it's your full-time job. And I'm not someone who's sitting here and saying that I want to be a 100% full-time author. I am someone who wants to be an author, an editor, and a reader professionally. All three of them professionally. And have different streams of income coming from all three. They are all things that I'm incredibly passionate about and I love dearly, and I could not decide on like one over the other. It's not possible for me. I love them all equally. So that's kind of where I am with this. I guess now that I'm thinking about it in that perspective, I am going to add another challenge rule, is that I want to take on at least one editing client. So I've taken on editing clients before and I've loved everything about it, but I really want to take on an editing client that is queer and is writing a queer book. And that is something that I'm looking to do not for money right now. So I am someone who I still believe that I am expanding my portfolio as an editor. I'm definitely looking to take on clients and jobs to add to my portfolio, not necessarily like for income right now. I'm really looking on expanding my portfolio and working on that quite a bit. So if you know someone who writes queer books who needs an editor, hi, I'm Sam. I'm a developmental editor, a copy editor, a line editor, and a proofreader. I do have training in all of them. I have a degree in English and a minor in writing and publishing. And I also have a couple certificates from the Editorial Freelance Association, EFA. So if you want to check out my qualifications, they are all on my website, which is linked down below too. So I am ready to embrace positivity, embrace optimism, embrace hard work and effort, and really focus on myself in a way that I have not over the past few years. I have always found something else or someone else to really focus all of my energy into, whether it was Sadie or whether it was my partner or my family or anything. I'm really good at finding other things to focus on so that I can ultimately kind of like neglect myself and then self-sabotage myself, because I'm like, oh, I'm neglecting myself. I can just kind of like rot on the couch, and I can use the fact that I'm putting all of this energy into everyone else to justify my own personal rotting. And I'm not going to do that anymore. This is going to be 6 months to change my life, to change my perspective on my life. That's where we're at. So, thank you to Jenna for giving me this idea, this outlet to kind of run with. Thank you for making such an awesome Discord community. I'm having a lot of fun in there. And let's see what the next 6 months bring me. I will be trying to do weekly updates. We'll see how I manage that. I have a lot of anxiety right now, but everything's fine. I just reshaved my head, so I'm feeling good. I'm feeling refreshed. I'm feeling like I got this shit. If you are someone who also wants to participate in this, I will have my rules listed down below, and I will have Jenna's video linked so you can go and watch that if you want to see what she has going on, get a different perspective on this insane 185 challenge. But with that, I will see y'all next time. Let me know if you are going to be participating in this, or if you're kind of waiting to see what happens with other people before you make a decision. I will see y'all next time. Y'all have a great day.